Hey, everybody. Welcome back to the channel. This is the Nation Network. I am your host, Vince McSham. It is time for the fastest growing program here on the Nation Network, and that is the PWI R&R. We've got a championship, hopefully, to be decided later on today. We've also got some news to share with you as this goes on regarding this ongoing little challenge cup thing that we've got going on here. I'm going to post in just a moment the link. So if you wish to be into the competition portion of this, where we are going to compare wrestling knowledge, then you'll have an opportunity to jump into the green room. And when the time comes, we will bring you on board. There was something here. Oh, yeah. A little bit. There we go. So I got my shirt the other day, and I started off the stream, but we had no audio. I'm presuming you guys can hear me. Let me know that you can hear me so I don't go 10 minutes on a rant. Jay's stuck in traffic, be home soon. Well, that's all right. I'm going to do a little bit of talking here before we get into the competition, as always. Big JH is here to defend his title. Purist is back trying to regain his title. It's just a mess, man. The title's everywhere. And my audio's working, which is always a great start. So once again, just to share with you guys, the shirts available for Joe Doring with Impact Wrestling. And if you're not familiar, Joe Doring had dealt with brain cancer a number of years ago, and they said he'd never wrestle again. He beat the brain cancer, he wrestled again, and unfortunately the brain cancer has come back. So shirts are $30. And Impact keeps none of it. It all goes to Joe Doring to help him with his medical costs, get him back in the ring. So I got mine on right now. And I'll tell you right now, I don't remember if there was an option. I know a lot of t-shirts now come with an option as to whether you want a, I'm going to just say a hard cotton blend versus a soft. And I can just tell you, this is like really soft, really comfortable. It's a super cool shirt. So anyway, if you head over to Shop Impact, $30. It's a little pricey for a t-shirt, but it's not the t-shirt, it's the cause. So hopefully you guys can get yourself a sporty shirt like this one and help the guy out at the same time. I said this is going to be a very special edition, and it is going to be a very special edition because tonight we feature the very first wrestling magazine I ever purchased in my life. The main event, wrestling's main event, and it was from January of 1985. So we were right in the heat of the rise to WrestleMania and all that good stuff. But I said it's also going to be a double feature. And this is part two. Now, it's not really a magazine. Super Color Special, as you open it up, just becomes more and more of a poster until you get to the full-size poster in the middle. So here's one of the pages of the Super Color Special number 5 that I am holding up here, featuring Magnum TA and the ravishing one, Rick Rude, with an action update. Not too exciting, but that's a start. Then as you open it or fold it or flip it over to the other side, this is the actual cover, actually. There's the cover shot. And you got the Rock and Roll Express, you got Hogan, and the Girls of Wrestling. Here's a little 2-page spread they did on the Rock and Roll Express with some highlights and things of that nature. I should have turned that one sideways. Should have turned that sumbitch sideways. Here's your centerfold. Once it's all opened up, and it is like legit movie size poster. I think it's like 36 by whatever. Got Hogan and all the other WWF champions up to that point. As you can see, there wasn't a lot at that point in time. You try and pull off something like this now would be an incredible feat. But it's got a write-up on all of these guys and what their accomplishments were, the title reign dates. You got Buddy Rogers, early 63. Doesn't even have a date through May 17th. I wonder if that was one of those Intercontinental title match tournaments that never really happened. You got Bruno Sammartino, Ivan Koloff, Pedro Morales, Over here we get the Sheik, Bob Backlund, and superstar Billy Graham. And then, of course, you got Hogan, and what do they say about Hogan here? Well into his third year as a WWF Heavyweight Champion, Hulk Hogan will undoubtedly go down in history as one of the most visible media celebrities of the 80s and the 90s and the 2000s. But how does he stack up against 8 other men who have worn the WWF Heavyweight belt? The editorial staff of the magazine debate the question, blah, 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 and there you have it. You can see the tape marks. That's actually bled through from when I had it up on the wall, unfortunately. It doesn't look that bad in person. It shows up worse on the photograph. And then there's which of the girls are the sexiest. They had some good-looking girls back in the day, okay? Out of this grouping here, and somebody, I know we did a classic calls recently with Misty Blue Sims, and I don't know who it was that didn't know who she was, but that's who she is. And she was a good-looking girl, no doubt about it. We had Lady Maxine, also known as Mad Maxine, and she came into the WWF and gave, I do believe it was Wendy, a run for her money. Might have also been Alundra, I'm not positive. But for me personally, it's between these two here. And if I'm saying who I really wanted the most, I'd probably go with Missy at the time. Not the today Missy. Talking about the old school Missy. I thought she looked good. All right, let me put the link up here. But you guys can start filing in and see what we got going on. Depending on how many competitors we end up with today will determine how we do this. Could be elimination. Could be lots of different things, baby. So again, this is what we are going to be working through today. Wrestling's main event. And that was the first magazine, and I still have it, that I ever bought. And shortly after that is when I moved to Florida, and Billy Graham was still killing it here in the Sunshine State. I'd already known him from the WWF run, so for me, it was unusual to see him in camouflage, because he was always either Superstar Billy Graham with the boa and the tie-dye, or he was Superstar Billy Graham, the karate guy. So I come down here and he's decked out with the camouflage and doing the stuff with Kevin Sullivan. Let's see some folks starting to come into the waiting room. Oh, and there's one other thing I need to get. We'll do it this way. Over this. It's under. There we go. There's a party going on. Is that what I wanted to do? Back to there. All right, we'll go through this, and then I'll bring the other item up in a moment separately. So one of the first pages in has the advertisement for the Superstar Pro Wrestling game that we use when we do classic calls here on the Nation Network. And that is the actual advertisement straight from the magazine. And talking to these guys that are a part of the group on Facebook that the PC version of the game has linked together. At this same point in history, when this came out in 85 and I bought mine, and all of these names are on their respective cards, and I remember asking, I wonder how they got away with that with copyright issues, which granted in 85 weren't quite as strictly enforced as they are now, which is why, you know, you can have WrestleMania with Bruce Springsteen and Queen and all these other musics playing in the background, but then they had to end up taking them out. But this organization basically uses all these names, not likenesses, but still all the names, and got away with it for a little bit. But it turns out at this same run, there were a bunch of other releases in the same time frame where it did not have the names. It had everything else, but you'd have to fill in the name part. So I guess somebody must have got a cease and desist, and I was lucky enough to get in there early enough where I got all the names. Back then, you only had a few match options. You had your Texas Death Steel Cage, your Russian Chain, Nebraska Bull Rope, and a few. And they had just added, apparently. I didn't realize that there was an earlier version of the game, and these guys have been updating me on what that was all about. But it was just must have at that time. It was a really cool game. Still is a really cool game. They had Wrestling Roundup. Scott McGee was holding the coveted Florida Heavyweight Championship. Again, Florida was hot in this issue of the magazine. No pun intended. And again, for those of you getting ready to compete, you want to pay attention to these little articles and stuff because it might throw you a breadcrumb of information that might end up in the top 10 list or something to that effect later on that we're going to go through. And you might need that. Mike Bart and Ron Bass were a tag team at the time. Apparently the Mid-Atlantic Tag Team Champions. The Invader came to town. And I believe that was either in the Florida region. What's the Championship of the World was number one. It began part of 84. Invader first world title. Not mentioning which. Let's see. Well, it was Ron Bass would be Mid-Atlantic, I guess, since they just mentioned that a minute ago. So the Invaders had just come through. Back in Florida now, Billy Graham was originally, when he came to Florida, hooked up with Kevin Sullivan. And the wording is backwards. That's interesting. But anyway, he came over with Kevin Sullivan's family there. Oliver Humperdinck. Fallen Angel, a.k.a. Woman. And then they ended up having a falling out, and then it was him against Sullivan's family. The Funk Brothers came to Florida as well. I'm telling you, Florida was freaking hot in 1985. So you had Maury and Terry, Maury Jr. and Terry in Florida as well. This was a 2-page spread. I tried to get it to fit as best I could. Featuring the Fabulous Freebirds. They had a thing going on with Offensica. And take a look at Office Space. Do you not see Roman Reigns in there now? I mean, wow. Never really noticed it in the past, but boy, when you take a look at that now. Wow. And I'll tell you, Offensica, there were two guys that legitimately scared the shit out of me when I was growing up. I thought that, man, you do not want to be around these guys. Return of Bruno Sammartino. He kind of returned. He did broadcasting, of course, on the Saturday morning shows for the most part, and did a little bit of managing, and he got in the ring a few times. Had a real short feud with Piper. Got Stan Hansen feuding it out with Abdullah. You see him fighting the bloody head of Abdullah. We all know how that turns out. Hugo Savanovic as Barabbas, trapped in the chin line. I don't know who that one is. Hansen slamming Carlos Colon. And then we got the Macho Man going down on Pedro Morales. That sounds bad. Let me rephrase that. Dropping the elbow on Pedro, and I'm pretty sure that was a WWF time. One of the big features in this magazine was the fact that Hulk Hogan had his first loss as champion, and it was to Big John Studd. It was by a countout, but it was a loss. And that was newsworthy at the time. But they show different shots here from the match at Madison Square Garden. And a brief recap of what all happened in that one. And this is our back cover of the magazine. Again, Stan Hansen and Carlos Colon were having it out pretty good at that point in history. We got some clues right there for you. Now that you have some clues, you might have an opportunity to do something with them. Okay, it looks like our contestants have dropped a little bit. We're down to one at the moment. I know one's on the way. And we're going to give Big JH a moment here to see if he gets back in, because we can't have a competition with one person. But it will give me an opportunity to share this. Bam. All right, JH is back. Purist is here. Might be a one-on-one, mano-a-mano kind of thing going on here today, and that's perfectly fine. There we go. All right, ladies and gentlemen, please help me welcome our reigning, defending, interim PWI champion, JH. And his opponent today will be the reigning, defending. No, wait a minute. I think Purist is trying to get his title back. Yeah, he is trying. Former PWI champion, wrestling purist.
Texas Deathmatch.
Hi, mate.
There you go. You've done something with your hair.
We're near to Halloween. Besides, this serves to cover this. I got to shave, something like that.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Can you hear me now?
Oh, this time I can hear you.
Where's
Don Wesley Thomas in the house. Juan Cordero in the house.
Where's the D train?
Hold on. Well, he says stall for 2 more minutes. I don't know how long ago he said that, though. Hold on a minute.
Your champ. Of course.
All right, it's 6:24. I'm going to give you 2 minutes. 6:26. Oh, wait, there he is. And the number one contender, Jay. Say hello, Jay.
I'm right here.
How are you? Are you lost at a McDonald's? Because I just ate there tonight. Don't ask me.
All right. For those of you who are not familiar, hello there. Here's how the game works. There are actually rules to this stuff. Go figure. Well, let's try it this way first. Hold on. There we go. We're going to pick a number. We don't do coin tosses. Pick a number from 1 to 5. I'll have that in my hand. And then all three contestants will determine what number they think I have. Whoever gets closest without going over the number will have the determination of either going first or going last.
I thought the champion picks.
Nope. Each question will be followed by an audio clip that'll sound just like this. Well, I take it back. Hold on. We got new audio. Oh, silly me. I almost forgot. I just got to find where everything's at because everything's moved everywhere. That's one thing I don't like about StreamYard. It's like all scrolled together and you got to keep on moving up and down the page.
What's the time period for this?
Oh, you can't even hear that shit. Hold on a minute. Here we go.
What's the grading period for? Never mind.
All right, so that is our music clip there. At the end of the clip, you must have your answer. Otherwise, you'll get none. Correct answer is worth 1 point. Correct number one answer is worth 3 points. So that means if you get the number one answer on a category, that's what you never out of it. As we learned last week, the clown came boom. Each player gets a finisher. We're going to go over that in just a moment. You will have one opportunity to use your finisher. Out in the event you win. Use it wisely. Finally, any round they draw, nobody gets any points. It's pretty much that. All right, so there goes that.
Vince.
What?
Excuse me, Vince. I want to say one thing. GAH, you were lucky last time, okay? I mean, I don't mean the other time. I mean last week. I mean, mostly because, well, with the delays of what happened with the microphone and all, it got a bit tardy. But mostly because that was 1995. I would have done a better job back there.
Well, you didn't. So now you have to see if you can put your money where your mouth is. All right. So we're going to start out right now. I've got a number between 1 and 5. Champ, what number do you think I got?
4.
Purist.
2.
Jay.
3.
Everybody went over. It's a 1. Closest one would be Purist. So you have the choice. Do you want to go first or last?
First.
Ooh, no one has ever tried that before. Jay, you were second closest. Do you want to go second or third?
I will go third.
All right. So the order is Purist, the defending champ, and Jay in that order. Remember to have your answers ready quickly. No talking over each other. And let's begin as I open up the magazine. And as I recall, this had a nice centerfold of Michael Hayes. I guess I didn't have a chance to scan that in.
Can you know what the time period is?
Yeah, we went over that in the beginning. It's January 1985.
I mean, when did the ending? One was the great ending.
I don't know that.
It usually has an ending period when it ends. It says at the top of the page.
Well, here's the thing with this one. It has an official ratings and just one page. It doesn't break it down into NWA, WW. It's all there, and it is literally just your top 20. Okay, so it's not like a lot of the other ones we did where we had most liked and most hated and all that kind of stuff. It doesn't have any of that. It is literally one official ratings page. And it doesn't seem to have a preference either.
So this will be one and done then, no rounds.
Well, because we have top 20, it's going to be a little confusing, but follow me here. Let's presume Jay gets the first one right. Purist gets the second one right. That would leave the champ out because they beat him to the scoreboard, and that'll bring us down to 2 because we're not going to have another category to go to. So we're going to have to eliminate somehow.
Well,
and then we'll be keeping the title. So everybody wants to get a point on the board as quickly as possible. Make sense?
Yeah.
Good. Glad it makes sense to somebody.
That's right. I'm flying blind because I didn't see any of the pictures or anything from earlier since I was in the car. So y'all got an advantage over me today.
Well, it's 1985, man. You'll be fine. All right, we're looking at the overall rankings, and we're starting at number 20. And this is someone, let's see. I'm going to give it to you this way. He's a former world heavyweight champion. The order was Purist going first. Purist, who do you think the former champion would be that came in at number 20?
Iron Sheik.
Nice guess, especially for the time. JH.
85. I have no clue. So I'm going to just.
Throw a name.
I don't know.
I liked him. He was a good wrestler.
So
and wasn't he on first base or second? He was on second.
I'm just going to eliminate myself.
All right. It takes the. Jay.
I'll go with Sergeant Slaughter.
Another good one. Correct answer is. Oh, wait. We forgot to. Oh, he bailed out? Oh.
Yeah.
Well, in that case, we're going to just go with points. Sorry to see you go. Let's see. So we're just going to go points all the way up the top. And finisher, Purist, what's your finisher going to be?
The Paulo Special.
The what?
The Paulo Special.
The Apollo Special. Okay, so you'll call that out if you want to use it. I should. Jay, what's yours going to be?
Sharpshooter.
Sharpshooter. That's a classic. There we go. All right. So again, use your finishers whenever you deem necessary. So here we go. Number 20 was Bob Backlund.
Yeah.
Yeah. Moving right up to number 19. Better lighting here. Bob Backlund.
He was a former champion.
Yeah, WWF. Like 6 years.
Of course.
All right, we're up to number 19, representing the World Wrestling Federation. He was part of a group in the World Wrestling Federation. Oh, I forgot my music and everything. I'm really missing it here today. Hold on a minute. All right, who was it? From the World Wrestling Federation, he was part of a group. Purist, what do you think?
Cowboy Bob Orton.
Jay, who do you think?
Andre the Giant.
One of you is really close. Mr. Wonderful Paul Orndorff, who was part of the Orton-Piper combination. Damn, that was close. Right. But close doesn't get you any points. So let's move along, shall we? Number 18, also representing the World Wrestling Federation. That's all I can tell you. Purist.
Tito Santana.
Jay.
Rick Rude.
The correct answer is the $1 Million Man, Ted DiBiase. Moving up the ladder here, and so far I think it's all been WWF. We're on number 17, also representing the World Wrestling Federation. He was a contender. He was a contender for the Intercontinental title. Purist.
Greg the Hammer Valentine.
Jay.
I'll go with Tito Santana this time.
Both excellent answers. It's the Junkyard Dog. WrestleMania.
Yeah.
Of course.
All right, we're moving up, and I think we're still in the WWF at number 16. WWF, he was a heel. Purist.
Ravishing Rick Rude.
Jay.
Don Morocco.
Again, great answers. Kamala. And again, these help you kind of, form an idea of what was going down at the time. We're finally out of the WWF. Number 15 is going to be from and representing the WCCW, World Class Championship Wrestling. Purist.
Kevin Von Erich.
Jay.
Magnum TA.
One of you has the correct answer. Is anyone going to use a finisher? Smart move. The correct answer is Kevin Von Erich.
Yes!
1 point for the purist as he takes the lead. But remember, we've got that number one answer at the top of the list. It's going to be worth 3. So, all right, we move up to number 14, representing the World Wrestling Federation. I'm trying to think of a clue that doesn't give it away. He's a babyface. He's a babyface. And has always been. Which probably gives it away. Purist.
Just allowed to say Jimmy Superfly Snuka.
Jay.
Tito Santana.
Ooh. I didn't even think of that. He's my favorite. Ricky the Dragon Steamboat.
Yeah.
I guess Santana would be another one of those guys that never turned heel. Not that I know of.
Yeah, Snuka did have a short run as a heel, though.
Yeah, he started out as a heel. Yeah, he went against Backlund, and they went to a very famous match in Madison Square Garden, came off the top of the cage and missed.
Yeah.
And then he'd correct that against Morocco years later. Still lost the match, but at least he didn't miss the shot off the cage.
Right.
We move up now to number 13. I think he would have been in Florida at this time, but he might have been in the World Wrestling Federation. I don't think he was there yet, though. And this is going to give it away if I say it, but he's from Portland, Oregon. Purist.
Don't know anyone who comes from Portland, Oregon, so...
Yeah, you do. Jay.
Yeah.
I thought I gave it away. Billy Jack Haynes.
Well, I thought about it, and then my mind went blank, so...
Fair enough. We move up to number 12, representing the NWA at the time.
Oh, good.
He is a former NWA World Heavyweight Champion.
Ric Flair.
Jay.
Bruno Sammartino.
That was a reach. I think.
Yeah.
Did he hold the NWA?
I can't remember, but it's not who I was going for.
I know he competed for it.
I don't think so.
Number 12 was Ronnie Garvin, the Hands of Stone. It is still 1-0 wrestling purists in the lead.
I was trying to think of Nick Bockwinkel is who I was trying to think of.
He was AWA, though.
Yeah.
Wow.
But we're covering all the champions here. It's all good. We move up to number 11. World Wrestling Federation, babyface in 1985. Purist, who do you think it is?
Tito Santana.
Jay, who do you think it is?
Snuka.
One of you is correct. Would either of you like to use your finisher?
No.
We're not using a finisher. The correct answer is Tito Santana. Purist takes a 2-0 lead. Boy, Jay was right there to call that, man. He wanted it so bad. He said, I'm going to use my finisher, and I'm going to save it anyway.
Got a plan. Got a plan.
I was going to say, it messes with your mind after a little while, I think. All right, let's move on up the ladder, shall we? We're into the top 10, and this is a very WWF-heavy lineup we have here, including the number 10 spot. This was not a person that most fans would cheer for. Purist, who do you think it might be?
Rowdy Piper.
Jay, who do you think it might be?
Iron Sheik.
Excellent answers. Correct one would have been John Studd. Again, we saw him earlier in the magazine with Hulk Hogan. All these little clues that we go into before we get to the ratings. Moving right on up the ladder again, we are up to number 9. Surprise, representing the World Wrestling Federation. You would think this is like WWF magazine, the way it's going right now.
Well,
he was a heel who called Seattle, Washington his home. Wrestling purist.
Pass. Sorry.
Jay.
Bob Orton.
Man, I'm going to start giving these hometowns away. I thought these were all giveaways, but you guys are not picking up on that. The correct answer is Greg the Hammer Valentine.
Oh, that's right.
Seattle, Washington. Actually, this lineup even tells you where they're from. I didn't even realize that till just now when I looked at it. So cool. Might use that the rest of the way then. But that brings us to the number 8 entrant. This individual represents the AWA. I want to make sure I get it right. And according to this, he's from St. Louis, Missouri, which I wouldn't have known that. AWA heel from St. Louis. Purist.
Nick Bunkwinkle.
Jay.
That's who I'll go with.
Both men going with the same answer of Nick Bockwinkel. Both men are correct. Nobody gets the point. It is still 2-0 for Wrestling Purist.
Gotta think fast, Jay.
We are into the 7th. Numbers are starting to get lower. The pressure is starting to get higher. From San Antonio, representing the NWA, a member of a very major faction. Purist, who do you think that would be?
I hope I don't get it wrong. Arn Anderson.
Jay, who do you think it would be?
Tully Blanchard.
The Brainmaster.
One of you has the correct answer. Would either of you like to use your finisher at this time?
No.
The correct answer is Tully Blanchard. That makes the score 2-1. Jay is back in this thing. And if nobody gets another point until the last answer, that will be the one. That brings us to the number 6. I can't tell you where he's from because if you don't know who he is by that alone, I'll be very upset with at least one of you. What I will tell you is representing the NWA. Oh, wait a minute. I take that back. We're in 1985. The World Wrestling Federation and part of a very successful tag team duo. Wrestling purist. Who do you think that would be?
The soon-to-be model Rick Martel.
Jay, who do you think?
Brian Blair.
The correct answer would be, what if I said he was from Sweetwater, Texas?
Doesn't ring any.
Jay. Oh, Jay, you're killing me. I get purist maybe not knowing that, but you?
Oh, of course.
I never really followed on them where they were from, honestly. So
Really?
yeah.
Barry Windham. Barry
Yeah.
Windham.
What tag team was he in the WWE?
With Mike Rotundo.
Oh yeah,
He
you're
lost
right.
the titles at WrestleMania to the Sheik and Volkov. Work with me, baby. Work with me.
You stupid American!
I might have to take a point away for all that. All right, it is still 2-1. Jay's waking up and joining us here slowly. This is going to bring us to our number 5 answer. This guy wrestled damn near everywhere except the World Wrestling Federation that I'm aware of. He might have done a one-off. He was generally a heel, and I would presume in 85 he was part of the WCCW World Class Championship Wrestling out of Texas roster. And he was a heel. Wrestling purist, who do you think that might be?
Terry Gordy.
Jay, who do you think it might be?
Dick Murdoch.
Yeah, both have really good answers, and this guy fits the same, cut from the same cloth. Bruiser Brody.
Ooh, really?
Yep. He did a run in WCCW against the Von Erichs and everybody else that he could get his hands
Yeah,
on.
I think WWF is the only federation he did not wrestle in.
Yeah, not that I know of. He might have done like a one show at Madison Square Garden or something. They did that back in the day once in a while, but
right.
Of course. Speaking of which, I recall that he was kind of a Brock Lesnar of the industry. I mean,
he was just a big wild man. I mean,
he was a beast.
What was he, like,
and the
280?
terror of promoters too. I mean, the promoters were hoping they would show up because he chosen to show up or not, from what I recall.
I never heard a lot of problems with him showing up, but he did definitely, there's that famous match with him and Luger in the steel cage match where he just decided he's not going to sell for Luger.
Yeah,
and Luger
says,
what's the matter? What's the matter?
Oh, shit, get out of here.
Yeah, and Luger said, fuck this, I'm out. It's like crazy. It ain't an act anymore. All right. Number 4 answer is a former NWA World Heavyweight Champion, and that is the wrong sound effect. Number 4. From St. Louis, Missouri. Purist.
Lex Luger.
Jay.
Magnum TA.
Magnum TA was a former NWA World Heavyweight Champion. Okay. Harley Race.
The King.
All right. We are getting down to the nitty gritty. It's only a 1-point difference. We are at the number 3 spot. Representing the NWA, he was a babyface at that time. I give you a bunch of other clues, but I would say it would give it away, but I've been wrong before. Purist, who do you think it is?
I do have an idea. The American Dream, baby. Dusty Rhodes.
Jay.
85. Barry Windham.
We already had Barry Windham.
Oh,
remember?
Okay.
Sweetwater, Texas.
Yeah.
So again.
Correct answer. What if I said Native American?
Wahoo McDaniel?
Yeah, see, I would have given it away. Oh, Wahoo McDaniel is the correct answer for number 3. I was debating on that.
Yeah, if you'd have said that, then yeah.
Yeah. All right. It is still 2-1, and we're at the number 2 spot. Now, I will let you know that there are 4 number 1 answers on this list. We'll talk about that in a minute. We're on number 2 spot, representing the WCCW once again out of Texas. Purist, you chose to go first.
I I say Stan Hansen.
Jay?
That sounds about right. I'll go with Stan Hansen.
Sounds about right. In what world? Kerry Von Erich.
Oh, I was thinking of him. I was getting scared of being too generic.
That brings us to the number one contender on this top 20 list. The score is 2-1. Jay, if you get this point, you will have tied it as we head into the top category, where there are 4 answers. Representing the NWA. Purist.
Dusty Rhodes.
Jay.
Magnum TA.
One of you is correct. If you're going to use a finisher, now is the time.
Paddle Special. Paddle Special.
Purist calls for his special. Now, if you are correct, you will steal the point. If you are incorrect, you will give up the point. The correct answer is Dusty Rhodes.
Yes!
No! You used your finisher. You give up the point. I don't think he gets it yet.
No.
Oh, I said Dusty Rhodes.
Yeah, so you shouldn't have used your finisher. You were safe. So you're like Hulk Hogan in WrestleMania 6, man. You dropped the leg, but the Warrior moved out of the way.
In other words, what happened?
Sure.
So you lose the point, and it's tied at 2.
Oh.
There you go. Yeah. If you have the right answer, you don't want to use your finisher.
Oh, man.
That's why it's a matter of you have to feel confident that you know your answer, or if you don't know it, confident that's when you might use it.
Son of a...
The drama is real. I'm going to give him a moment here.
Oh.
My goodness, we are so into this, aren't we? All right.
I want that shirt.
Here's what we're going to do.
That damn shirt.
We're going to take, well, it ain't happening today. It's at the end of the year, man. You're already in the running because you have won one. We're going to take a real quick break. When we come back, there are 4 champions in no particular order. I was trying to figure out if they put them down alphabetically. They did not. And when I say alphabetically, I meant by the participant's name and or their organization's name. It looks like they just dropped them into a big old barrel. And there are 4 champions that are listed here. So when we come back, we're going to try and determine which ones are on the list. I don't even... I mean, it should be obvious what the promotions are. I guess I'll have to give you that just to be 100% sure. So it'll be the NWA, the WWF, the AWA, and the Universal Champions. But you have to have them in the right order. Ooh. So think about this for a minute, and we will be back to find out who knows their PWI business.
Your winner and new World Wrestling Federation Heavyweight Champion. Join us for Classic Calls, the live stream that captures the feel of the old days of professional wrestling. With the power of the classic board game Superstar Pro Wrestling, we bring the legends back to life as only we can.
Distracting the referee Valentine. Oh, low blow.
Names like Flair, Funk, Rhodes, Hogan, Snuka, Piper, and many others will rise to glory once again on the only channel that can contain the action, the Nation Network.
Well, I'll tell you what, that was an upset.
Look for it on Saturday evenings at 6:05 Eastern Standard Time. The Nation Network brings you the stars of today's WWE roster in alternative storylines. Whether you like it raw or prefer to be smacked down, or even check out tomorrow's Legends today with NXT. We have them all right here on the Nation Network. Check out the fastest growing show on the Nation Network.
Yeah, it takes time, hours. People just see the finished product and it's like, oh, you pump out stuff so quickly, but people don't realize, it's a balancing act, and a lot of people don't get that.
We're the creators and talents that have provided us countless hours of entertainment.
I've been putting up on Twitter, I opened like a DeviantArt account, and then I've been putting videos that I make there for my guys.
Come to sit down and share their memories, experiences, and upcoming projects.
Definitely not. The greatest wrestling game of all time? I don't think so.
Formerly known as Inside the Creator Studio.
Wow, it's great to be inside the Creator Studio. And who did you create today, mate?
We now invite you to check out The Rub.
I was looking at your schedule just for this past month on the food truck alone. And you got like a 1985 Hulk Hogan schedule going on here where you got like a morning, a noon, and a night, same day. Then the next day you're in this town. The next day, and I'm thinking to myself,
yeah.
Were you that busy traveling when you were in the ring?
I know, right? I think, busier and actually making more money now than I'm not wrestling.
You know what? I'm going to make money doing this. I'm going to pay my price. I am going to do conventions. I'm going to do expos. I'm going to do weddings. I'm ordained to marry people. I've done weddings. I'm the whole 9 yards, man. I absolutely said there's nothing that I can't do with this character. And all your fans out in your nation, we love you, mate. The Big Vegas love you. I hope to see you around. Still on the road. Whoa! Yay!
Only on the Nation Network.
All right, we are back, and you guys have had a chance to think this through. Once again,
I have to remove my shirt for it.
top four. Oh, please, man, no guns allowed on the screen.
Guns.
Again, we've got the Universal Champion, we've got the World Wrestling Federation, the AWA, and the NWA. So, bottom line is, you're probably going to have an idea of which champions at that point in time, but you've got to get them in the order that they were listed in this particular magazine, which I don't necessarily know that they were ranking them in that order. Like whoever number one is on this page doesn't necessarily mean they say that was the number one guy. It's just the way they are on the paper. So that's the best I can tell you. Purist, you are the guy who decided to go first in this. We are tied at 2 right now, so this is going to be really interesting. The number 4 spot goes to this individual. Who do you think it is?
Universal?
I'm not saying. It's one of the 4.
Okay.
Could be. Could be AWA, could be NWA, could be WWF. That's just the way they listed them.
Rick Martel.
Purist goes with Rick Martel for the AWA.
Stan Hansen.
Stan Hansen for the AWA. Number 4 answer is Carlos Colon, the Universal Champion.
I had a hunch.
Well, things get a little tighter now, don't they? And only one of you has a finisher. AWA. Let's see where we at. No, that was Universal. Sorry. We're up to the number 3 spot. Purist?
Ric Flair.
Jay.
Nick Bockwinkel.
One of you was close because you had the Federation right, but you both had the wrong answer. Correct answer was AWA. Rick Martel was the champion, however, at that point in time. We remain tied at 2. Purist, there are only 2 organizations left. You have a 50-50.
Ric Flair.
Jay.
That's who I had, Ric Flair.
This is going to be really interesting. Correct answer was Hulk Hogan. There is one answer left on the board. It's worth 3 points, and we have one person with a finisher. Purist, who do you think the last person is on this list?
This time it's got to be Ric Flair.
Jay, who do you think it is?
I'm just going to save the trouble and sharpshooting.
That works. He uses his finisher. He takes the point and gets the win. That's a 3-pointer because you did have the right answer, Purist, but he used his finisher.
So
he gets 3 points.
Jay, what's your answer?
He didn't use his answer. He just went to his finisher. He used his finisher. Wouldn't have done him any good to give the Ric Flair answer. That's just a wash, and then we're still tied at 2. So he used his finisher. Strategy, buddy. Strategy.
Who was number 1 at that?
It was Ric Flair. You had it right. But I cut your legs out from under you.
Oh, indeed. It was a great battle. Went down to the last answer, and that is why you use strategy when you use those finishers, because you never know.
I thought the finisher was some sort of a cock block or something like that.
Yeah, pretty much.
There's the championship title, Jay.
But I've got my title back. I was the first, and now I'm back.
That's right.
I'll be back, pal. I'll be back.
This was a whole Ric Flair thing. Let you guys build up for about 2-3 weeks, then I'll sneak in and take back what's mine.
Oh yeah.
Take back what's mine.
Don't get
Here we go. So wait a minute, I did do something. Did I upload it? I had something done. Where would I put it? I might not have uploaded it. Let me see. Don't hurt yourself, man. Let's see. Where can I put it?
That's my bad. I had fun. Like I had really fun.
Yeah, this was a good one again. We're getting this thing down now. It's getting pretty entertaining here.
That's who.
Let's see. I'm looking for something. Give me a second. Damn, if I can remember where I saved it under. I thought I uploaded it already, but apparently I did not. Let me see.
If I may.
Might be this. Let me see if this is it.
Pardon me, but if I may.
Yeah, there we go.
Oh.
Our run of champions here. Oh, and Jay, I got to get your name on there. My bad.
That's all right.
It will be updated either way, so we will have our run of champions, kind of like our side plates.
Right.
I just hadn't gotten around to uploading it yet. Well, I want to thank everybody. We got, let's talk to the folks here in the comments section, because we got some good stuff going on there, too. Juan Cordero was guessing for Roddy Piper at one point in time. Big JH had a lot of right answers, it looks like. He had Billy Jack. He had Clown went with George Steele for one, which
nice.
Would have been right time frame, too. And he's not on the list in the top 20, which now that I'm looking at that, it's kind of surprising.
Yeah.
At one point in time there, Jay, you actually had a fan club going on.
Thanks, Clown.
Well,
Juan was guessing Tully Blanchard. Yeah. Big JH had the Barry Windham, and I'm sure he did it without Sweetwater, Texas.
Right.
Here's another good guess. Gino Hernandez, not on the top 20 list. How is that possible? Like I said, this was a very WWF heavy list, but then when you go to the final page or the final bracket here, this little block up here, they list NWA above the WWF. Now, I don't know, again, if they rank them that way or if they just, in no particular
Stuck 'em
order.
in.
But that is the only top 10 list they had, or top list they had in the whole magazine. So I was like, man, it's going to suck if we ended a draw because I don't have a tiebreaker.
Vance. Excuse me, Vance.
There's another name that wasn't there, Chris Adams.
Ooh.
Texas should have had a little better representation on that 20 list, I think. What's up, Prayerist?
Listen, Vince. I would like to say that was a great game, but if I may use this time to make some publicity for myself because, see, I was watching your spot and I remembered something. I would like to say to everyone that not only I'm an avid wrestling fan, but I'm also a cartoonist. Well, web cartoonist. I said I write the script and then I have a comic on DeviantArt. It's from a game, Freedom Fighters. It's called Freedom Fighters After Work.
Hey, hold on a minute now. Last time you put something on the screen, I got in trouble.
Not this time.
Yeah, let's be careful about that. Took me 3 days to get that off.
I have.
That's what Bill Clinton said. Or Monica, I suppose.
This time it's more. Can I show blood? Just blood, nothing else. Okay.
Why would you have to?
Well, this is the first chapter, and I must say that right now I'm already doing with my good friend Prince Blue Moon Tree the second chapter. It's from a game, okay? A good game.
So you're doing artwork for a video game, or you're doing artwork for a comic book?
A video game. My point is to use the game and to show what happens before and after the missions of the game. And more, I want to humanize the characters that didn't have the time to be humanized in the game. Looks like this is more of an anti-war thing. And this was done before the Russian invasion of Ukraine. I'm using real stuff here. I'm using my history. Excuse me. I'll be quick.
All right. Jay, got anything you want to share with us?
In case anybody doesn't know, I've started a WCW 2K22 federation, and I've now got the first and second first round matches up on J-Rock's YouTube channel that you can go and check out. I did see that Big JH has subscribed to my channel. I appreciate that. So anybody else who wants to come check it out, I am hoping to have the rest of the tournament uploaded tomorrow. So
did I not click on that?
I don't know if you saw this. I just got the second match up today, so you might not have seen it yet.
All right, I'll be over there in just a minute then.
And one more thing, and this might be a spoiler, but it happens after the comic, the first chapter that is. Since this is alternate history, because the Soviets invaded the Americans in 2002, excuse me. There is also an exposition on what happens in this world. Real comic stuff like Gorbachev and
Well, we get the idea.
It's Gorbachev and
Do you have like a website?
It plays a good part here, the Tiananmen Square Massacre.
If you have a website, it might be easier.
What?
If you have a website where people can go look at stuff, it might be easier.
Yeah, DeviantArt. My good friend, Prince Blue Moon Tree, a great cartoonist, also a good horror fan in some way, anime. They even did stuff for me, like, you don't know this, but every year, every Christmas, he does for me a pic of me dressed as an elf alongside Santa Jim Cornette.
Cool. All right, and I'm going to wrap up where we started out earlier on in the stream in case anybody wasn't here for it. There is a t-shirt available on shopimpact.com for Joe Doring. It's a $30 shirt. That's the one I'm wearing right now. And all $30 goes directly to Joe. He's fighting brain cancer for the second time. He beat it before. They said he wouldn't come back to wrestling. At that time, he proved them wrong once. There's no reason to believe he won't do it a second time. But definitely could use all of our support. So if you have the means and if you have the ability, go stop over at shopimpact.com and support them. In the meantime, I want to thank everybody for being here, for you guys in the comment board and playing along at home, and, of course, for our two top contenders here going head-to-head. This is becoming a real rivalry feud type thing. Big JH, hope you feel better soon, man, because we want you in the next one. I know you had a lot of right answers, man. All right. And everyone have a great rest of your night. Stay safe, and we'll see you next time right here ringside. Saturday night, 6:05, Classic Calls.